Hi, welcome to my journey. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it's still hot out here. My car says it's 88 degrees. 88. I wouldn't get out here if I didn't have to get out here. But I need some more puppy pads and some more treats. And so that's the mission. Puppy pads and treats. Yeah. These pitties is getting expensive. I don't know. It's, the dog food is getting low. And they don't care. They don't care. Like children, right? They just want, and they don't care how much the shit costs. Tomorrow, we have to take Gracie to get another round of shots. Okay? I'll get to see how much weight she put on. Because I know she's more than 5.5. Yeah, she is. She's almost getting way too big for this carrier right here. She mad because she's in the carrier right now. But she don't know how to ride. She don't know how to ride. So she got to be in the carrier. She don't know how to ride. Because if she knew how to ride, she knew how to shut up. Yeah, you shut up. I could have left your ass at home in the cage. But she don't know that. See? She thinks she can get in the carrier and be demanding to get out. So, tomorrow we got to take her to get the second round of shots. And I was thinking about taking them, for a quick little walk. You know what I didn't realize? I came across some information that the back seat in the electrical cars have been known to make people and animals car sick. And I was like, really? You really don't feel it up front. But they say you feel it much more in the back seat. I was like, what the hell? So, I know I have been wondering if, my dog was getting car sick. I was feeling bad for her. And, I guess it is something to do with the vibration or something, because I don't think there's no motor back there. Anyway. So basically, apart from that, I've been just chilling, waiting for October. Yeah, waiting for October. Because I guess in October they start, advertising, for Christmas. Yeah, they start advertising for Christmas. And so, a lot of people try to push for more money so that they can have, good holidays. Plus, I was feeling a little bit guilty because it seemed like the only time I was taking my dogs out was after dark. So I said, well, let me try taking them out just right before dark. Because, I've been having to catch up on my sleep. I hadn't been getting that much sleep lately, and so yeah, I had to catch up on my sleep for real. So yeah. So the one thing that I was looking at was they were talking about how these dogs need to eat like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 times a day. And I was thinking to myself, who has the time to feed dogs 6 times a day? Right? It's like under these circumstances, you just about have to have like an automatic feeder for the dogs. If you're going to feed them 6 times a day, that's a full-time job. That's a full-time job, right? Because after you feed them, right, supposedly 30 minutes after they eat, then they have to go to the bathroom. So now you got to walk them. So I don't know. I think it's a ploy. I think it's a ploy, the same thing that they told us, right? How we need to eat 3 meals a day. I can understand 3 small meals a day when you're growing, right? When we're babies, we might feed a baby every 2 to 3, 4 hours, 5 hours if the baby needs it, right? But I just, I'm just not understanding, the pampering, that they are trying to tell us we need to do to these animals, right? Because now you got to pay for a sitter to walk your pet and feed your pet 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Yeah. That's a lot of pampering. Now, like I said, considering if the puppy is a baby, I can understand that. And intuitively, I went ahead and decided, to give this puppy, like attention. And I'm thinking that's probably why, they split up the eating the eating patterns, because that's the attention that these animals were given, was during feeding, walking, and it was just like very a routine, right? Because a lot of times, people and maybe even animals, will express, a need, and people will automatically assume that it's hunger, right? A lot of times when, we're dealing with babies, right? When we're dealing with babies, the baby just wants the attention, right? But, parents will go through the whole, well, are you hungry? Do you need changing? Right? And, if they don't have the time to give the baby attention, then they break out the pacifier. So, yeah. But I'm going to take them out so they can get a little bit of sunshine. I guess the doggies need a little vitamin D also. Yeah. So, here we are down here in my favorite place. And I like it down here better than, some of the other spots where people congregate. Because here it just seems like, they could have more room without a lot of other dogs. And if there are dogs, then they're just passing through. Just to have the dogs passing through. Damn. So let's see. So the little dog has made it complicated for us to walk, because she keeps grabbing onto the bigger dog's leash, causing a little problem. Causing a little problem. She getting too big for the carrier already.